You are born in a guest house, a special house in Joseon, Korea, in 1572. Your mother holds you for exactly 1 hour before the head woman takes you away to check your fingers, your feet, and your face. She nods once. You will do. Your name goes into the government registry before you can even cry for milk. Most children take their father's name. You take your mother's chains. They call it the law of following the mother. Daughters of Gijon become Gijayon. No exceptions. Your fate was decided before your first breath. That is how it begins. Your life as a Gijon. You are 6 when training starts. The teacher lines up 15 girls in the courtyard and says, 10 of you will become first-class Gijon. The rest will be sold to dock taverns where sailors pay with rice, cloth, or anything a desperate man can offer. Look at the girl next to you. She is your competition. The girl beside you is Woo Hyang. She is 7, sold by her father after her mother died in childbirth. She is shaking. You hold her hand anyway because competition is tomorrow's problem and loneliness is tonight's. Your mother visits between performances, smelling of rice wine and other men's breath. Cheap incense sticks to her clothes. She teaches you to hold the gyajiam before you can properly hold a brush. Your fingers are your fortune, she whispers. Girls with clumsy hands end up in the dock taverns. You know what happens there. You do not really know, but the way she says it makes your stomach tight. Training breaks girls like dry wood. You learn to sit still for 4 hours while your legs burn. You learn to pour tea without any ripple because a rippled cup means the bamboo stick. A girl named Sony cries on the 5th day. By the 10th day, she stops crying. By the 20th day, she stops speaking. They send her away. No one tells you where. Inspectors come often. They score your music, your posture, and your obedience. Fail too many times and you are moved down. From fine banquets to back room. Mister from silk stages to cheap taverns. Alive but slowly fading, Woo Hyang's hands shake when she plays. You practice with her every night, fixing her fingers and drilling her until the moon sets. She is your only friend. You will not let the taverns take her. She fails her first inspection anyway. 1 more chance, the head says. Then she is gone. You both practice harder. Your fingers crack and bleed. You wrap them and keep playing because stopping means the docks, and the docks mean death, only slower. Second inspection. Woo Hyang passes by a small margin. You allow yourself 1 night of relief. Third inspection. The inspector is different, stricter. He fails 4 girls, including Woo Hyang. You watch them drag her away as she screams your name. You do not scream back. You stand perfectly still with an empty face because showing feelings is weakness, and weakness is death here. 3 months later, you hear she is dead. Sailor's disease. 12 years old. You stop making friends. After that, by 10, you are learning classical Chinese along with the sons of noble families. You memorize poetry, study philosophy, and train your voice until it can make drunk men cry. The irony burns. The most educated women in Joseon are also the lowest. You have the mind of an aristocrat and the body of a slave. Your mother is demoted that year, 30 years old, too old for top performances. They give her a sewing needle instead of a gyajiam. You visit her in the back rooms where fading women go to be forgotten. She looks at you with empty eyes and says, "Be better than me. Be so good they can never throw you away." You look at her bent over silk with ruined fingers and see your future. Unless you are exceptional, unless you are perfect. Are you exceptional? You do not know yet. You are 12 when they put up your hair. The coming-of-age sign that tells the world you are no longer a child. The ceremony costs someone a fortune. A wealthy merchant pays for the rite. He is 53, smells like fermented bean paste. And tonight you belong to him. You survive it by counting the ceiling beams. 47. You think of Woo Hyang and tell yourself this is the price of not becoming her. Your stage name is Mong Ha, bright flower. The government official who tracks every Gijin like livestock writes it in his register twice each month. You report to him so he knows you have not run away. Where would you go? Your face is in the registry. The only way out is death or a patron rich enough to buy your freedom. And men like that do not marry Gigian. They collect them, use them, and throw them away. Your first real performance is at the governor's banquet. 30 noblemen watch you dance the sword dance. The blades are not real, but they are heavy. 1 wrong move means no patron, no protection, no future. You make no wrong move. By 15, you are the most requested Gijon in the province. You are a celebrity in silk chains, famous for talents that will never free you. You take a lover, a young scholar named Junwoo, who writes you real poetry. He talks about buying your freedom and running away together. You let yourself believe him for 3 months. Then his father finds out. Noble families do not marry Gehae-han. Junwoo is sent to a faraway post. His farewell letter is 4 lines long. You burn it without crying. The older Gijon have a saying, "Love is a luxury for women who own themselves." You are 17 when the royal court calls you to perform. You do a slow court dance, exact and rehearsed until your joints feel like wood, in front of ministers who have read your poetry. The king himself nods in approval. They offer you a position at court, first-class Gijon. You say yes. What else can you say? Court life is a different prison. Rumors spread. You seduced a married minister. Scandal sticks to Gijon like ink on paper. You survive by becoming useful, trading information the chief minister's spies cannot get. It is not freedom, but This is power. You are 20 when the Japanese invade. 1592. Hideyoshi's army takes Seoul in 3 weeks. The court flees north. You are left behind because entertainers are not worth saving. You are assigned to General Katamura's group in Jinju after the fortress falls. 70,000 Koreans lie dead. You are supposed to smile and pour wine like your country is not bleeding. There is another Gijon there, Nonji. She lost her husband in the siege. Her eyes carry that empty look you remember from your mother. That night, Nonji dances for the general. She leads him to the cliff edge to see the moonlight. Then she wraps her arms around him, locks her fingers, and jumps. They fall together. The river takes them both. You raise your cup to the empty air and drink to the only freedom some of us ever get. The war does not end quickly. It drags on for years, burning, retreating, and surging back until the final withdrawal in 1598. By then you are 26. You survive by being useful to whoever holds the sword. But survival has a price. At 22, your career was already fading. There is always a younger flower. You are moved to second tier. At 26, a minister takes interest in you. He visits twice a week for 3 months. He is not cruel, just indifferent, which feels almost worse. When your bleeding stops, you know before the doctor confirms it. Pregnancy changes nothing and everything. You still perform with your belly growing under layers of silk. The other Gijon whisper, some with pity, some with relief it is not them. The minister stops visiting. He has a wife, real children, and a reputation. You are a problem he did not want. The head woman lets you stay. You are still useful for teaching and the work younger girls cannot do. But you feel yourself becoming invisible, fading into the background of the guest house. Labor comes in winter. 16 hours on a thin mat while snow falls outside. No doctor, just an old woman who has done this many times. Her hands are rough but steady. You bite through leather to keep from screaming because screaming is weakness. And you have spent 26 years learning not to be weak. A girl. Of course it is a girl. You hold her for exactly 1 hour before the head woman takes her away to check her fingers, her feet, and her face. He nods once. She will do. And just like that, you understand your mother in a way you never did before. The empty eyes, the desperate whispers, the way she looked at you like you were both her greatest joy and her deepest wound. The official comes 3 days later with his book. He writes your daughter's name in the register before she can even focus her eyes. You watch the brush move across paper, each stroke a new chain. Daughter of Gijon, Gijon, no exceptions. You name her Uni, Silver Rain, something beautiful, because her life will give her little else. You take students to stay useful. One girl, Chunyang, has real talent. Never fall in love, you tell her. She does not listen. A young nobleman named Yi Monong writes her poems, sneaks into the house at midnight, and promises her the moon. You have heard these promises before. You have buried girls who believed them. But something impossible happens. He passes his exams and becomes a secret royal inspector. When a corrupt official tries to claim Chunyang for himself, Monong returns, not with excuses or a short letter. He returns with power and uses it to save her. They marry legally. A Gajon's daughter and a nobleman, standing as equals before heaven. You attend the wedding in disguise, face hidden under a commoner's hood. You watched Chunyang smile the way you smiled at Junwoo 20 years ago. But her story ends differently. Her nobleman came back. You slick away before the ceremony ends. You find a quiet corner behind the kitchen and weep, like you have not wept since you were 12 years old. You weep for her happiness, and for the version of yourself who stopped believing such things with air possible. At 31, they force you out of performance. You become a teacher, training the next group. Your mother dies that winter. You find her poetry hidden in her sewing box, verses she never showed anyone. They are beautiful. They are heartbreaking. She was brilliant, and no one ever knew. You start writing too, sometimes your own lines. Sometimes you borrow safer words. You copy a poem said to be by the famous Jijeon poet Hwang Jinny. On that I might capture the essence of this deep midwinter night, and fold it softly into the warmth of a spring moon quilt, then fondly uncoil it the night my beloved returns. You are 43 when the coughing starts. Consumption. A lifetime of cold floors and silk that looks beautiful but gives no warmth. Your students gather in the final weeks. You tell them about Nonji and the cliff, about Chunyang's impossible love, about your mother's hidden poetry. Remember, you whisper. We preserved the songs when scholars forgot them. We carry the dances through wars. We were the memory of this kingdom. Even when the kingdom refused to remember us, they bury you in the Jijeon cemetery. No family name, just your stage name. Mongha, bright flower. Your daughter stands at your grave, 16, old enough to understand what the registry means. Her name has been in the book since she was a baby. Now the training is coming for her too. The cycle continues. You've seen Korea's version, now meet Japan's. More polished, more controlled, and just as unforgiving. Click here to watch your life as a geisha.